All right, well, let's see. Welcome back. I hope everybody is doing good. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It's nice to see everybody again. It's nice to be seen. For the ones who do watch, who do listen, who listen to me ramble really about nothing. And that's what this is all about. Just me rambling, talking to you people. Imaginary person, I don't know, figment of my imagination probably. Anyways, but yeah, it's Tuesday. Not a whole lot's going on. I've been distracted for the past 2 days, to be perfectly honest. Just work has kind of got me. I've been really busy, and it's just I ain't had time to think, to do anything else. Barely had any time to make the phone call I needed to make. Because okay, check this out. I know Satan was at work this weekend because Saturday we went door knocking. It was a beautiful day. I was just kind of like, man, I was really thinking about we should go, but I wasn't really sure until my wife brought up something. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe we should go this weekend. Because next weekend it's supposed to be raining. It's going to be just dreary. And so I just like, okay, let's just go this weekend. So we're on our way to church because we're going to meet up with the pastor so we know where to go and what to do and everything. And on the way there, the air conditioner in my truck decides to go out. And I was just kind of like, I know what it is. It's just Satan trying to mess this up. It's just an discouragement. It's just everything you can not to go do what we're doing. And if we do go, just make it hard because now you've got this on you. Because last summer, I took the truck in to get the air conditioner fixed. I spent $1,200, got it all fixed, brand new system, and it goes out again on me now. And I'm just kind of like, okay, it's Satan. I know it. Just to discourage me. And so I've been trying to call a mechanic to get the truck in. It's just been so busy. Yesterday was busy all day long, barely had any time to breathe. And then this morning was starting out just bad. And then I finally just said the heck with it. I think it was right after lunch sometime. Yeah, just like I had a moment and I took it. And so I got an appointment set up and taking the truck in tomorrow evening after work a little bit. Because he said he can look at it Thursday. He didn't say he was going to be able to do anything, but he said he's going to look at it. So, and then kind of go from there and give me the direction. Because I'm really on the fence about this truck. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, if we're going to trade it in, or just put a ton of work and money into it and keep, because it's got like 236,000 miles on it. So it's getting to the point like we're going to have to do something. And I've already put a lot of money into it as it is. I just feel like the more and more it's just going to keep sucking money. It's getting to that point because I'm going to have to put a new transmission in it here pretty soon because they don't last forever. I went through that with the last truck I had, a Dodge, and it went out on me, and I don't want to do that again. And then I know the motor needs a tune-up, and it needs to be, just gone through, and rings, pistons, and all that fun stuff to bring it back up to where it's new again. And then there's some odds and ends. Man, it's going to cost a ton of money to do all this. And do you put money into something that's already got a ton of miles on it? It's over 10 years old now. I really don't know what direction. I've been praying about it. I've been hoping the truck holds out just a few more months because then we'll have enough money, hopefully saved up if nothing else goes wrong, and if the Lord will bless us, and hopefully the job will hang on tight, and maybe we can make a decision by then to either put the money into it, trade it, and get something else. I know what I'm leaning towards. I know what I want. But I don't know if we should, and then if we do trade it in, then we've got a vehicle, then we've got a note. And right now we don't have a note. All we have is our house note, our mortgage, and that's really about it. And it's quite nice, and it's just that peace of mind that if something was to happen, we don't have all this stuff, and how are we going to do all this? So I don't know. We're just going to see, and hopefully they get it and they look at it. It's nothing major. I really don't want to put another $1,100, $1,200. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I might just, I don't know, But if I do trade it in, I'm not going to get as much for it because the air conditioner doesn't work and it's going to cost, I don't know. I think I looked at Kelley Blue Book. They said you can get 4 to 6 if you sell it out individually. But I looked at Carvana, some other places. They said it's worth like 35 or whatever. And I don't know if I'm going to get that because it needs a new windshield because it's got a nice crack up it and odds and ends. So, and it's just got a ton of miles on it. So that's kind of what's kind of going on right now. Just trying to figure that out. I don't know what to do, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there's wants and the desires, but is that the right thing? Is that gonna hinder us? Are we gonna get involved in something? Because we could pay cash and get the truck fixed. No big deal. Motor fixed, transmission, and all that fun stuff. We could put, because either we're gonna put cash into that, or we're gonna take cash or money and put out a huge down payment on another vehicle, but then we're gonna be stuck with a note for however long. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on, and just work is busy, and it's just hard to juggle all this stuff because you can't just break away and go do that. I mean, you still have to work, and because that's what you're there to do. You know, you want to do right by them. But my company, my boss is a little, he's leaning on that stuff because he knows I am taking care of business, and I'm not just trying to run off, because he knows I try to schedule everything that I do, you know, around certain things. I try to push everything off, either like on a Friday afternoon, you know, or like late in the evening. Like I'm going to leave tomorrow around 3:30 or so, somewhere after that. We get off at 4, so it's not like I'm fixing to miss the whole day. I don't want to do it in the morning, and then because it's going to a lot of back and forth, and I just don't want to do none of that. So it'll be, and he understands that. He knows people got to take care of business. Not every company is like that. There's some companies just, they won't let you do anything. You got to be here at work. So it's just a hit and miss, but I'm grateful for they're like that. So anyways, and the people, there were some people that came out today that looked at the sawmill and everything. And so I don't know how that's going to turn out. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be good for the company and for the owners, but for the employees, I mean, sure, it will provide work, but I don't know at all. It's just going to change, and I don't know. For some of us, it's probably not going to be a good thing. I don't know. It's just because of the pay situation. I'm not really sure how that's going to do. But I know that God can soften hearts, and then that He can keep things a certain way, you know, and that'll be great. And maybe nothing will change on that front. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. I mean, it's not a lot going on. Just trying to figure out life. Life and stuff, really. The door knocking, I can go back, I can talk a little bit about that. Nothing exciting happened. It never seems to, something weird happened, and I'm not really sure what was going on, but I don't know if we got caught in something, or I don't know. But it's same old. You never know who's going to be on the other side of that door when you knock, because it's weird. It's a stranger's door. They don't know who's out there, and you don't know who you're going to talk to. You don't know how they're going to react. You got to be, try to be calm and civil and be nice and polite, and don't push people, and don't beat anybody over the head. And so, but it's basically the same old. A lot of people go to church, we didn't really talk, but we met a pastor at a church, and he has a church, and so we really didn't get to talk to him much. He didn't really want to come out the door. I mean, he's kind of just poked his head out there, and then we told him what we're doing. I was like, oh, I'm a pastor. So I was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. And he's like, all right, and then that was pretty much it in the conversation. That's normally how it goes. There's a lot of people not home. Some people didn't want to come to the door because a lot of people are putting up those Ring doorbells or Nest doorbells or Google or whatever. So when you knock on the door or hit the button, they see who it is, and they're not going to get up. Because I remember when we walked up to this one door, and I could hear them in there talking, and there was stuff going on. I hit that doorbell, and it got completely quiet. And so you're sitting there waiting and waiting for just a moment, and then it said, "Oh, we can't come to the door right now." I'm just like, You just didn't want to because you could see who it is, which, in their defense, I can understand why. Because you have all these people, Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons, you got people trying to sell stuff just coming through there, and if you get bombarded all the time with that kind of stuff, you don't want to come to the door. You don't want to have to deal with that, and I understand that. I mean, in the beginning, before, when I first started going door knocking, I didn't want to go knock on some stranger's door and go bother somebody because I don't want somebody to do that to me. But now it's changed because God has pressed it on my heart. That's what He wants me to do, and so that's what I do. And now I kind of enjoy it. I mean, it's fun, I guess, because you never know who's on the other side of that door, and just the opportunity you get to tell somebody about Jesus. And we don't really get to do that a lot because most people either they got a church they go to, they saved, and then that's it. Because I ask them, they tell me they got a church they go to, and they tell me where they go, and I was like, all right, cool, man. So you've accepted Christ as your personal Savior, and they go, oh yeah. And then I was like, so if you was to die today, you go and be with the Lord, you'd be in heaven. He's like, oh, they'd be like, yeah. And I was like, all right, man, that's it. Everybody tells you that. I haven't really run across very many people that's like, well, most everybody says that, or they're not interested. There was one, and his name was Alex, and he was like me back in the beginning. When people started coming knocking on my door when I lived somewhere else, just wasn't ready. And we actually got to read scripture to him. I got to show him and to show him all this stuff, and was talking to him, and he just wasn't ready. And that was over a year ago, I guess. So it just takes time, and there are some people who are willing to listen to you, and some people are just they're not interested. There was one guy, he says, I'm not religious. I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, are you interested in spiritual things, or just not interested in it at all? He's like, not at all. I was like, okay. So you just kind of walk away. But I got to thinking afterwards, I probably could have pressed him a little bit, just asking why or whatever, but I always think of something after we done walked off and going to the next house, like, I could have asked that. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better at this. That's another reason why I'm doing this, is so I can talk more and more and more and more to people. And this is just a good practice throughout the week to be able to tell my faith, talk about Jesus, talk about the Lord. And who knows, maybe one day this could help somebody. I have no idea what this is going to do, what the Lord is going to do with this. I mean, I didn't really pray and ask Him to do anything with this. I really didn't even plan on even putting any of this on YouTube. This was just for me, just to talk to a camera. And then for like a week, that's what I did all week long, and then sat on it. I had no thought, or this wasn't for anybody else to see, really. This was just really for me to look back and watch, and just to work on speaking and the interaction with others. And so, but yeah, that's kind of how everything went. And but okay, the weird part of it is when we got down to, because we started, it was a dead end, so you start at one and we go back around. Well, we got to this, I guess it was the third house before we got to the beginning of the road again. So there's 1, 2, the third house. No, it was the second house to the end, because I remember that guy was a little, I don't know if he just woke up, or he was just like really just slow and just to speak. I really don't know what was. It just looked like he just woke up. So I might have disturbed him from his sleep. Not real sure. So when we got done with him, I noticed that the lady, the neighbor next door, she pulled in and she had some stuff in her hand. So I was like, well, I told my wife, let's just walk back across. Let's hit these first two because we missed these first two, and let her get a chance to get her stuff out of the car, get in the house. And when we'll get done with these, and then we'll go over there and just give her a chance to settle in. So that's what we did. So we walked back over there, knocked on her door. And then as soon as we knocked on her door, the guy next door came right around the corner, right behind us. I was like, and then that guy, it was a guy that opened the door. He had his hoodie on and everything. And just kind of looking at us, and I'm just looking at this guy, and he was like, hey, I didn't, they knocked. I didn't, I didn't do anything. And I was kind of like, okay, what is that? What does that mean? But then I was like, I'm kind of stuck here in the middle. I don't know what to do. So I was like, hey, man, and introduced ourselves and asked him the same questions, my whole spiel. And he just kind of just staring at you. I'm just kind of like, man, give me a sign of some hope here. There's some people, they'll just stare at you. When you ask them, hey, you got a church home? We are so-and-so from this church, and just going out and talking to people about the Lord and inviting people to church. So you have a church home you go to, or if you're interested in spiritual things, and they just kind of just stare at you like a calf staring at a new gate. It's like, do you have a church home? Do you go? Are you interested in? He's like, oh yeah, I go somewhere. I can't remember where he said he went to, but he says I drive that. He drives a big 18-wheeler truck, and it was parked there in the driveway. And I was like, hey, that's fine. Come on, we got plenty of room, And so I asked him if he was, whatever, saved and not. But it was just kind of weird because that guy, the neighbor, stood there and waited for us to get done. And then so it didn't go anywhere. But we invited him to church and everything, gave him a tract. And he was just kind of just standing there kind of looking at us and looking at him, kind of looking at us, looking at him. And I was kind of like, what is going on here? Just something was weird. By the time we turned around and walked away and got to the driveway and going across, he was already walking back. The neighbor was already walking back to his house. I was just kind of like, man, I have suspicion, but it's just suspicion. It's just me not knowing anything. But I just thought that was interesting. That was really the only thing that happened during that. And it's like a lot of people didn't even answer the door. Some people have no trespassing, no soliciting. So we try to respect all that. I try to be careful. Every time I walk up to one, I'm always looking for any of that just to make sure, because some people get mad, man. I don't want to make nobody mad. I want to get shot. So anyways, but that's how the weekend went. And but yeah. And then Valentine's is coming up this weekend. So me and the wife, we're going out of town, just an hour away to another town that's a little bigger. She's got some cakes she really wants to get. And then we're gonna go out to eat, kind of celebrate Valentine's just a little early because it's on Saturday. So, and that's when it's supposed to rain and just kind of be dreary and kind of, So we're gonna take care of all of our stuff the day before, and then just chill out the house on Saturday and just listen to the rain. That is our plans for Valentine's. What is your plans for Valentine's? I hope it's good. Hope it's a good one. Treat your significant other, your wife or your husband. Treat them good. Just love on them. Just love on them. You don't really have to buy a whole bunch of stuff. I know some people love that. Some people love chocolate and candies and jewelry, but just love, man. Show them love. Shower them with love. Let them know that you love them. So that's really all I have right now. So yeah, until we meet again, peace, ramble on.